How to warp a vector design in Affinity. It's really easy. This is for PC or Mac. I created this design in the previous video. It's got a 3D effect as well as a shadow. And you can see over here in the layers panel, it's a group. It's a group made up of symbols, which can be changed at any point. But you can also warp this design using a great feature inside Affinity. So with this group selected, you can see the symbol there. Let's just remove this. What you can then do in the Vector Studio, and you can also do the same in Pixel, etc. You can go to Vector and New Warp Group and Mesh. You could use the others as well. I'm going to go through those in this video. So Mesh is the first one. With Mesh, you get this. And you're going to notice over here in the layers, you now get a warp group that covers the entire thing. All the rest is contained within that warp group. The symbols are still there. They're still live, so you can modify the symbol at any point if you wish as well. Now with this, you can just go to any of these nodes here, or points, and simply just drag and distort it in many different ways. Simply go down the bottom, drag that one in there, you can push that up. You can go over here and drag that in, and so on. So you can, even with the basic mesh, and that's the basic option, mesh. All the others have some additional functionality, but the mesh is the core one. They're all basically the mesh as well. What you can also do is select one of these nodes, central point here, and you can see now you can also go here and you can twist these control points and you can see what happens. It just distorts it locally, which is sort of like the deform effect if you go to the pixel mode. Also what you can do, you can drag over multiple ones and you can move multiple. So you can see you can drag and distort it in even more ways. You can also add some additional ones. So you might decide, I want to warp this central bit, just double click and you've got another one added and it follows that line of the warp. You can see there, you've got that. And with that, you can then just drag this bit up. Now you'll notice what happens. None of this area is modified. Only this localized area is actually modified when you're doing it here. And with that, if you want to, you can always just reset it. So you might decide, that's not what I want. And you just click reset. Let's just go for another one. So go for quad. So here's quad. You've got a different one. And it's basically the same. But what you get is option here just to drag down here. Now, the one thing about this one, it does seem to result in a slightly unusual effect. It sort of loses the 3D as well as the shadow for some parts of it. Now, you can get that back, but it's not particularly straightforward. You can just apply, of course, a 3D effect to the group, or of course you can just go and modify the symbol and then it should reappear. But it does seem to create a slightly odd result with this one. So the quad one is very unusual. So just undo. Now you'll notice whenever you use any of these ones, like quad, so you just go to quad and just modify it like that. As soon as you've done any modification, it goes straight back to the mesh as a default. It just resets itself. So let's just go now to another one. So perspective, resets it again. Now you've got perspective options. So you can just go over here and just drag down here. And again, as soon as you do anything out of the ordinary that's not expected within that group, that warp group, it will set it back to mesh. At the moment it hasn't done it because I'm just doing perspective. Just go into these control points and you can see you can create a lovely perspective effect with this vector design. It's a vector design. But what you can do, if you just go here and say double click, and now as soon as you've just added something, you've changed it. You've changed it and it will still got the perspective. You can still see the perspective there, and you can just drag this down, but now you've lost that perspective feature. It just doesn't do it in the same way, and you can just drag this in any direction you want. So it's no longer doing it as a perspective, and you can obviously just distort there as well. Exactly the same as before. You can go to arc. Now what you get with this one is you get a value. The other ones you didn't have a value, but the ones now below have a value. That's all they give. So basically there's not more options, but you've just got a value. And with that, you've got arc vertical. And you can just set the value here. So you can push it to 100%, and you can go the other way as well. So you can see now it still keeps it looking as it should. So the quad is the only one that doesn't seem to do that for some weird reason. But you can see you can create some lovely designs simply by using this arc option. Well, again, if you just go and click anywhere or do any sort of modification, just drag here. As soon as you do that, it goes back to its default, which is the mesh. And you can then continue and add additional ones. But you've got the basic structure from the arc, but it will be now a mesh. So again, arc horizontal, you got that one. Now this one also seems to have a slight problem. Maybe it's just a memory issue on my machine. I do not know. But it does seem to have a problem. Again, you can see that is lost. And then you get it back again. It's very odd. You push it too far, it doesn't. Now you can, as mentioned, just go to the symbol, tweak it and change it and bring it back that way. But it does seem to have a tendency to lose it for a bit, where the information just takes some time to reproduce perhaps. It's still there, but it's just not actually doing it properly. Again, bend, another one here, very similar to the arc. Again, you've got the same value. You can see bend there. And you see that one. And let's go for bend horizontal. Now horizontal seems to have, again, has that problem. The horizontal ones definitely seem to be an issue. Fisheye, this one, just go with fisheye, and that just is a bloat effect. That just bloats it out. But again, you've got this, and again, at any point, you can double click, and then you can start modifying the center part or any of the other parts. But as soon as that, it's back to mesh. You lost that value. And finally, twist. And twist is a nice one, and you've got a value there. It is a pity they didn't add a multi-twist. There's so many different options you could think that they could add. Maybe a sort of warp glitch effect that's done as a vector. It'd be nice to have wave designs and all kinds of other different sort of spiky designs. You could well imagine many possible things you could do with this option. However, once you've got this, you've got this design, you've done all the various things, you can always, of course, convert to curves. It will convert the whole thing into a curve. So if you want to, let's just click convert to curve, and now you've lost and it's just a group again. You, of course, can then go and use, again, the vector and new warp group and just do twist again and so on. And you could do that. So let's just do that. So vector and twist, and you can see now you've got warp group and that's applied to that and so on. You can see you can build up all kinds of different combinations of values here and multiple groups. Now, unfortunately, you can't modify the origin point. That would be a nice feature as well. But you can create multiple groups here. But at the same time, as mentioned, it's still live. So at any point, you can go here to any of the symbols. So just select the symbol, and you can see now it's selected down here. And what you can do, if I change this, I'm just going to go down here. I'm going to use the node tool. That's the key thing. With that selected, node tool, and I can just select any of those nodes, and you can see then I can just tweak it around and it changes like that. Now, if I do that, change that, what it should do, but doesn't in this case, for some weird reason, maybe it's taking a bit of time to think about it, it should, because it's a symbol, update throughout. And in some it should. And does. So let's just undo. And I'm just going to quickly come out of this. Let's just close it now. Go back. Don't save. And again, open recent. Just got the file already. As mentioned, there's a previous video on how to create this design. And you've got a symbol here. So go to the symbol, you can see there, change that, and you can see it changes. Now, if I go up here, go to Vector, New Warp Group, and a Mesh. Just create a mesh, and let's just modify that bit. Let's push this up a bit, do a few changes, and maybe just drag this down, and drag this down. And then, exactly the same as before, go to the curve, go to the curve there, and now change that. And you can see now it does change, and it should do that in the other one as well. However, sometimes it does seem to suddenly, you know what, I am not going to change it. You might find that if you don't get any response, a good way of getting around it is to do what I did. Just save it as another document and then go back into it again with obviously the warp and everything already there. You can find it probably will do it a second time. It just suddenly just doesn't seem to see it as a symbol. I'm not certain why. A bit of a glitch, I think, in the thing. But also what you can do, and this can be problematic, the effects. So you might want to just click on there and remove the 3D outer shadow from that. And likewise, you can do that. Just go there, again, click there, and again, remove them. And you've got that original design. Well, you might want to just go to the group and go to effects. So 3D, and then you can see now you get this. It's a slightly different result, actually. It's not exactly the same. But I wanted to show you, you can do it slightly different to create, again, a 3D-like effect. But this time, of course, all those lines now seem to be more merged together than they were before because of the 3D effect was applied separately to one set and another set. But you've got that, and again, exactly the same. You can go back to the warp group at any point, and then you can modify it again and just drag this down, and you can see they all drag down. And again, you can at any point go to the curve and select this and cross fingers, all of those designs will move. And you go to the move tool with that selected as well and just use the rotation, say, or scale. You can scale it, and you can see as you do that, all the lines and the 3D effect and shadow will also alter as well. So literally all kinds of unique designs can be created that way. Go back to the warp group, and if you want, you can then go and create another one as well, another warp group. So go here, new warp group and mesh, and that's on top of that. It will get increasingly complicated if you do add more than 2 or 3 mesh warp groups. And you can then see, you can modify that. And again, technically, it should all still be live there as well. And let's just select this one again and change it just to show that they all change. There you are, they all change. But it's perhaps some of the warps do not. Let's just go again back to the one that I was having a bit of problem with, twist, and let's just change that. And with that, just go to the curve, and again, just change that. So you can see it does change. I just want to prove that the thing does alter. And as mentioned, you can, if you want, simply go put the effects back to the individual curves, because now they're not part of the individual curves, but the group. So now you've got this design, which you can then, of course, bring in and do other things with in Affinity.